Hey everyone, welcome to the Camppatton Family Compound. It's the Monday night Fireside chat, and tonight's topic is the Asian jumping worm threat. And how's everybody doing out there in the chat?
Hello, everybody.
All right, well, let's go back and see who came. Our first one in was King Poopa. Hey, Dustin. Then Idaho Garden Girl. Walt Rogers came in. Kaylin Strain. Skinner Farms, unspecified podcast and review. Hey, how's it going? Q's in the house.
Hey, Q. Q, send me an email.
And see what else. Alicia's here. And everybody's talking back and forth. Oh, Robert's here, Homestead Aquarius. And
hello, Idaho.
What else we got going?
Robert, Glenn, send me an email. I need your email for tonight.
Glenn at How to Gardens in the house. And I'm caught up there. And let's see, we got, okay. And I think we got a couple lurkers out there. That's fine. All right. Before I jump ahead, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to my channel members. So I got a little quick clip here. Yeah, it ain't Camp Crystal Lake. We do things safely around here, and we have fun. Ain't no monsters around here. Well, there are tonight, but well, of course, we can also deal with these monsters too. But all righty, so
got a few monsters.
The one name that I haven't had a chance to put on my little list there is Prairie Rider. That's Lori, the Queen of the North, and so I got to go through and get a new one updated so you guys are up to date on who's members there. It's only
99 cents a month, guys.
Yeah, 99 cents a month, and members get special access perks, members only videos. They get early access to other videos that I do it. I'm going to start doing some members only live streams here before in a little bit here, and we got they get a lot of photos that you guys don't see. So
hey, Cajun Hydroponics, good to see you in here.
All right, and let's see, I need to get back over on this here. Okay, hey Cajun, how's it going? And Tammy, Rebel Canners. Oh, Tammy's double dipping. She's watching over on Facebook and on YouTube. Woo-hoo.
There we go.
All righty. Alrighty, so let's I got a lot of information to give you guys. Down in the description, down below, after the first paragraph, or maybe two paragraphs, it says links from tonight's live stream. And I got the links for the articles, which I pulled some excerpt. I can't even talk right.
You can do it.
Get my mouth right. All right, so you want to see the whole articles, there's the links down below, and they have links to other articles.
Where to begin?
Hey, where to begin? How's it going? All right, so let me go over here and bring this back up. So the Asian jumping worm threat. Let's go to the next, come on, wrong one. There we go. Okay, as gardeners, we understand earthworms are important allies in creating soil ecosystem that is conducive for growing flowers, vegetables, turf, shrubs, trees, any type of plant. All right. Deep dwelling earthworms, such as the common night crawlers, create tunnels which allow air and water to reach the plant roots. Their castings or a little bit of poop help enrich the soil by adding nutrients and such as phosphorus, calcium, nitrogen, magnesium, etc. Okay, but there has been a species coming from Asia that is even causing problems over there. Hey, it's worse than evil twin. It's more like the Frankenstein monster of Asia.
Yes, yes.
And so they're known. This is the Asian jumping worm, and I'm Athemus, whatever it says in parentheses there. Also known as snake worms, crazy worms for the crazy quick-like movements and stuff. And this article is from Ohio, so it says Central Ohio anxiously turning to soil searching these worms, which is more destructive than helpful for us that want good soil. Hey, Jay's in the house now.
Hey Jay. Good to see you.
All right. Asian jumping worms have been identified in recent years in locations throughout the upper Midwest, North and Northeast states. Wherever they've been found, they have degraded soil quality by voraciously devouring the organic material at the top of the soil, leaving large amounts of telltale castings, which look similar to used coffee grounds. And because these worms just live at the top of the soil, they don't go down deep, they create too much pore space at the top, drying out the soil in the summer heat, like it is real hot right now in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
And basically it turns it into a hard cake, whereas they also, it has a cakey surface on top, and the loose seed bed, underneath of it that they make, because basically they're trying to grow in all these air pockets, and they just don't do it very well.
And they're eating the roots, yeah.
And they're eating the roots of young plants. Because they're organic. I'll just eat on this. So rather than helping plants, they're killing plants.
Yeah.
Hey, Walsh Homestead Adventures, how's it going?
Welcome. Good to see you. Good to meet you.
All right. So let's see. Next one. Okay. Now that's from one article. The article is a lot longer. I would have probably 12 or 15 slides from that article. Here's another one that's also written back in 2020. These worms are working their way across the United States, devouring the protective forest leaf litter and leaving behind bare, denuded soil. All right. They displace other earthworms, centipedes, salamanders, and ground nesting birds even. They disrupt the forest food chains. They can invade more than 5 hectares in a single year.
Wow.
They change the soil chemistry, whatever. I can't even read. Communities as they go, and new research shows, and they don't need mates to reproduce. That means if you get one dropped in your area, it can start reproducing on its own. So I forget what the term for that is, but it's an epidemic for the Japan and Korean Peninsula. 3 invasive species of these worms, and I'm not going to try to pronounce them there. By the way, the link for these articles, again, are down in the description. So you can look it up and read it yourself on your own time, or your own leisure, I should say. They've been some of these have been in the United States for over a century, but they've really, in the last 15 years, begun to spread widely, just going nuts. Collectively, they're known as Asian jumping worms, crazy worms, snake worms, or Alabama jumpers. Hey, yes, they're down in the Gulf states too. They've become well established across the South and Mid-Atlantic, and are reaching the parts of the Northeast and Upper Midwest and West. Let's get this other one here out of the way. Here's what sucks. Here's where stupidity comes in, folks. They are often sold people are selling these invasive species as compost worms or fish bait. All right. Fishermen, fisherwomen, whatever, like it because the worms wiggle and thrash like angry snakes in the water, which lure the fish. Problem is, when they get done fishing and have any left over, these idiots just toss them out. And now they're getting into the soil wherever they go, have taken them to go fishing at. That's why they're spreading. So one of the reasons they're spreading so fast. They are marketed as compost worms because they gobble up food scraps faster than other earthworms, such as night crawlers and other lumbricus species, the normal ones we have. All right.
Yeah, which is scary.
Yeah.
They're selling them as compost worms.
And so, and the worst part about them being compost worms, I'll explain in a little bit, but it's really scary. All right. When it comes to ecology, these worms have more worrisome traits. Their egg cases or cocoons are so small they can easily catch a ride on a hiker's or gardener's shoes, can be transported in mulch, compost, or shared plants. Hundreds can exist in a square meter of ground. All right. So what does this mean? If a commercial composting company is using them and they run it through a screen to get their worms back out, so they keep their worms to help do the composting, but those egg cocoons are in the compost coming to your house, guess what? Yeah, you can be invaded by the compost you buy. All right, compared with the lumbricus worms, your normal American worms, jumping worms grow faster, reproduce faster without a mate. So one worm can create a whole invasion. Jumping worms also consume more nutrients than earthworms, turning the soil into a dry granular pellets that resemble coffee grounds or ground beef. One of the scientists called this can make the soil inhospitable to native plants and tree seedlings, and far more likely to erode, especially if you suddenly get these heavy rains that they've been getting in the eastern states here lately. So what do we got here? To date, scientists have worried about mostly the worm's effect on the ground cover. Prior to a jumping worm invasion, the soft layer of decomposing leaves, bark, sticks covering the forest floor might be more than a dozen centimeters thick. What's left afterwards, after the jumping worms come through, is bare soil with a different structure and mineral content. So Sam Chen is one of the leading guys doing this. He's at Oregon State University. These worms can reduce the leaf litter or the ground covering in the forest by 95% in a single season. That's just scary as all get. A single season. Am I back now? I'm back now. Okay. I guess Bill Gates doesn't want us getting this information out.
Of course not.
Granny Goose is in the house. Tibor's in the house. Hey, Tibor. So basically, these worms, just devastate the topsoil. Eventually, different plants come in because the native ones aren't thriving like they used to. And usually the plants that come in are usually invasive non-native species as well. So it basically can change the whole horticulture of the forest and farmlands and stuff and the surrounding areas. Now, new research shows the worms are also changing the soil chemistry the fungi, bacteria, and microbes that live in the soil as well. Okay. All right. So one of the studies, they've collected test samples from soil impacted by jumping worms. They're looking for changes in carbon dioxide and nitrogen levels, and the soil and in the soil's release of carbon dioxide, which produces the scientific stuff in there, the microbes and animals living in the soil. The results show that the longer the worms have lived in the soil, the more the soil-based metabolic rate increase, meaning the soils invaded by jumping worms could release more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, keeping less in the soil for the plants to use. No, these are not causing global warming. They're just releasing more out of the soil for that native species would normally use. All right. This is for another PowerPoint I'm going to get to in just a second. So let me go ahead and bring us down. The one article of the articles up down below there also has this link, had that link into it. So let me change things up here. I got to drop that one down and get the other one back up here. Okay. All right. So that's ready to go in a minute here. So that's a lot of information there to kind of throw at you, but that's why I put the links down below so you guys can read it at a more leisure space and absorb this information.
Yeah.
So I guess Franklin County, Ohio is one of the places doing a lot of research because it has a dramatic increase there, and the University of Ohio is doing studies there. Hey, Pastor McQuaddy. Hey, Guns Coast to Coast.
Hello, Pastor McQuaddy.
Yeah, when humans are finally gone, it'll be a battle of worms, fungi, and yeah.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, these worms are displacing normal worms. So, yeah. So anyways, there's a lot of information out there, more on it. But what I'm going to show you here was this PowerPoint was put out by a master gardener in Ohio. So she's in Ohio, and the University of Ohio has added it to their website for people to look at this PowerPoint. She shows her garden and things going on that she's come across and dealt with. So let's go back over here. So here's a new one. So Joanne Dole is a master gardener in Ohio, a certified master gardener. And this is what she's put out about it. On the Asian jumping worms, all right, they're a dark gray, light brown in color, not the nice dark brown or reddish ones we know as normally. And they got a white band or a very light gray band as well. And it goes all the way around. Some of the articles talk about a lot of native species of worms. The band doesn't go all the way around. It goes like 3/4 or 7/8 of the way around, and it's a darker color. So where are we at? Here we are. Okay, these are what some of their castings look like, and this is from her yard. All right, and so they push it up in the wood chips. Push the stuff up. So. Edamine, I can't pronounce it, and kale planted on June 24th, replanted on July 30. Only 2 of the edamine germinated and just a few sickly kales. She found worm slime and germinated edamine seed when she dug. The churned soil had crusted over in the hot weather there in Ohio, and the seedlings couldn't get through the soil, or they never germinated. And one of those that did germinate and get through the soil was so loose and not holding water and everything that the plants didn't do good. And then of course their roots are small and stuff. And what are those nice roots looking like to these worms? Ooh, lunch.
Yeah.
And they were eating the roots off of these plants. All right. She's also found this slime stuff here in the center picture here. When she dug, and this was a healthy, I can't pronounce, Tithonia, transplanted in late June, was killed off by the deteriorated stem and roots. So they ate the roots, and they started eating at the stem a little bit and killed this plant off. All right. Now, just to clarify, the jumping worms don't actually produce a slime trail like slugs and snails do, but they're feeding through the gut is coated with enzymes and other compounds that could be slimy. They also decompose and turn into bacterial slime, which is what she found here. And that came from Samuel Chen of Oregon State University. Her conclusion so far, first found worms in her leaf pile collected from a neighbor last fall. She unknowingly spread the worms in the mulch in her garden this spring. She now solarizes or cooks, and we're going to talk about that later here, the leaf mulch before using it to kill any worms off or the cocoons. The benefit of the hot summer days she's been having, it's easy to pasteurize the temperature of 140 degrees inside the closed clear plastic box. You'll have a picture of that. Seeds and transplants planted in April to early June do fine if they are planted and get established before the worms get too big in mid-June. By mid-late June, the seeds and transplant can't outcompete the worms. On July 24th, she dug through soil 3 times and physically removed worms in one bed, then planted transplants. She's going to see if they'll do better with a smaller worm population in there. She found worms wrapped around the root ball of some plants.
Wow.
So when she pulled the plant out, the worms were all wrapped around it, eating away at it. A piece of advice here is, what's wrong? Not to share plants that come from an infected area. You will never find the eggs since they're so small and the color of the soil. So you can get someone.
So don't share plants with Courtney.
or anybody in
an infected
Florida,
area.
Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Indiana.
And treat your soil.
Yeah.
Cook it.
Yeah. So, all right, there's Samuel Chen, Associate Professor in Oregon State University. Linda Tucker is the graduate student, PhD candidate, environmental sciences at Oregon State University. They're providing a lot of information out there. So Oregon State University has a lot of information on it because evidently Oregon was one of the first places hit by it years and years and years ago. So, and on the West Coast, on the maps, Oregon's the only. California just started. They just found some in California this year. And so far, I haven't found anything on Washington. Okay. Worms might be impossible to eradicate, but you can manage the situation. You can limit their growth and stuff by basically cooking and stuff. And so anyways, yeah. So let's see. Okay, so here, back to her stuff. Okay. Here, this picture here, her onion bed. Down below it, and in the bark walkway here, there are the castings from it. So let's see here. The cocoons, this is how small the cocoons are. And there's in this, I don't know if I can bring this up here. I'll try in a minute here. You look how small they are. So these are centimeters, so and millimeters. I'm not sure what the exact size, but they're really tiny. So I'm going to click on this and see what I can get it to. No, it's not going to allow me to click on it because it's an active PowerPoint. Okay, so when to look for it? April, May, tiny jumping worms hatch from the cocoon encased eggs. Summer month, the worms feed and grow. August, September, mature worms reproduce, depositing egg-filled cocoons in the surrounding. Each jumping worms are, I can't pronounce that word, parthenogenetic. Each worm can reproduce on its own without a mate. First freeze, the adult worms die. During the winter months, the eggs spend the cold months protecting the cocoons about the size of a mustard seed. It takes only 60 days between hatching and reproduction.
Wow.
Jumping worms, unlike European earthworms, can easily complete 2 generations per year in Wisconsin.
That's where it's cold.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they could produce 3 generations here.
Yeah. Or 20 generations in California.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or Alabama. Or more information on it. In Ohio, worms likely hatch starting late April. Won't be sexually mature until the end of July or August. New cocoons would probably be produced late summer and into the fall and lay dormant until the following spring. However, it is possible, depending on the exact temperatures and timing, that there could be 2 rounds of cocoons in Ohio. All right, so sterilization measures. Again, from Samuel Chan, University of Oregon. And there's an article called Sterilizing Soil in Containers, or Solarizing Soil in Containers. And so, but she had her husband build a raised planter bed. And basically, that's where she puts the filled with this already solarized, sterilized, what do you call it, the garden soil and compost and stuff to do it. She also uses clear plastic containers like these from Wally World. And get a kitchen thermometer, put that in. And the important part is down here in the bottom. The length of treatment is temperature dependent. Studies indicate that cocoons die at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Typically, pasteurization occurs after 30 minutes at 140 degrees. On a warm, sunny day, those temperatures may not take long to achieve.
Yeah.
You put it in a wheelbarrow and you cover it with clear plastic. It'll heat it up. And during most of the day, you can get temperatures of 150 degrees.
So one of the other, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Question.
It's not really a question, but one of the other things that you can do, you know, those big black tarps that people buy. Yeah. Those would probably help with this problem as well.
Yeah, the black visqueen heat absorbs more heat and transfers it into the soil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're doing a larger area, that would be, you know, a better way to do it. If you're in a small area, you know.
Yeah.
Boiling water does a lot too, yes.
Jay, that would only work for the ones that are within the very close surface, you know, unless you get it really hot. All right. Yeah. Here, if you have a soil in a frame that is moist, not waterlogged, you should be able to decontaminate the top 6 inches or so with confidence. Use your oven thermometer to help. Keeping the contents moist helps to transfer and retain heat. So turning the soil every day will help. The worms prefer residing in the upper 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah, it kills the biolife in the soil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I guess you got to add it back in after that.
Yeah. Hey, Vitra, how's it going? All right. So,
good point, King Poobah.
Some of the other beneficial stuff can survive higher heats. Some of the other nutrient students, especially like you have some compost piles, they get upwards of 180 degrees in the middle of those compost piles.
Hi, Petra.
So, hey, Mary Beth. So yeah, you can cover it with clear plastic. You can cover it with the black plastic. Yeah. So you just gotta figure out what's going to work in your area. And thing is though, if you're getting just the top 6, 8, 10 inches heated up, down below that, your other earthworms are still down there. Your other microbial life is still down there. Everything's down below that is still there. And so you have a chance on killing the eggs and stuff in the top, and all the microbes and everything else down deeper stay. So come on, let's go. There we go. Well, she hasn't tried the barrier around the garden yet to do it. Several layers of weed fabric dug down 24 inches might keep them from transferring from one area to another, such as also if you have raised planter beds, if you have the raised planter beds and something going down in a foot or so below the raised planter beds, they're not going to want to dig under that and come up and dig up through several feet to try to get up. So the worms in Ohio, the worms hatch around late April. So her April, May vegetables outgrew the worms and continue to do well. Early crops, garlic, spinach, were fine. Tomatoes, peppers were all doing well, even though the worms are in those beds. But those are also ones that she's started, like the peppers and the tomatoes started indoors and then transplanted outdoors, so they had a head start on it. All right, and she dug these worms out of the center section of this planter bed in her garden. The worms, there are worms among the carrots and basil, but those crops were planted in April, May, and doing fine. She removed lots of worms, but she knows there's more, and she's experimenting with other plants and hope they'll survive with a smaller worm population after she dug a bunch of them out. And on YouTube, and I'm sure this will bring it up here. And it does not want to do it. Let me see if I can type that in here. I'm going to try to type this into the post for you guys in case you guys can't read it because it might be a little small. HTTP. I forgot to bring this one up. I'm sorry. I forgot to also throw it down into the into the chat. Okay, www.youtube.com/watch (lowercase v equals TFLB NUEGJH, and I'm trying to figure out if this is it looks like this is a 0 or an O. I think this is an O, but got to be capital O. There we go. And let me see what the difference looks like here. No, it looks like it's a 0. So just if it doesn't come up as a 0, change that last digit on the end from an O to a from a 0 to an O, or what So that should bring up this YouTube presentation by Dr. Chan. All right, so there's also the link for this PowerPoint is down in the description, so you can bring it up and you can pull them straight from there as well.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Hey, Gear. All righty, so hopefully that helps out on that. And is that
Good
the
to
last
see you,
slide?
Michelle.
That was the last slide on that. So some areas are doing fine on it. So far, knock on wood, Idaho doesn't have any. All the compost I get here is local compost. The manure I buy that was composted is composted from the local dairies here. None of it comes from outside the area. Idaho has a almost as strict as California for their Department of Agriculture allowing imports. So, but problem is some of these have gotten loose in other states, and easily transported across state lines and stuff. If you go off to a garden show across the border and you get something there and you bring it back,
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. No, Dustin, don't send it to me. No. All right. Big good question. How do you tell the difference? Let me go back here.
So buying things on Etsy, you might want to confirm where they're supplied from.
Yeah. All right. So difference. The big difference is right here. This smooth, milky white. Yeah, rather than the dark. So hang on a second here. I'm going to go ahead
and the color that it's not red or darker brown too. It's a lighter brown.
All right, let me get this up here. Differ. BTW between.
Be right back.
UNP. Okay, let's see what we get here. Images. All right, see if I can get this one here larger here. No, it's a web file. Dang it. Oh, hopefully, maybe if I click on it, I can get it to grow bigger as well. There we go. That's a little bit bigger picture there. So how I would pronounce this, the white band here goes completely around, whereas it's raised and the regular earthworms, and it's further from the head, whereas the other one is closer to the head. All right, and you can see it's whitish, and this is more brownish reddish tint to it. Let's see if I can find some other pictures here that describes it better. There's if you Google, like here you got how to deal with jumping worms. There's stuff out there on it. Here we go. Let's see if this one here is that's a web file too. Dang it. All right, I'm not sure on this one here. If I can get this big again, I'm going to try to bring this big. Okay, here we go. Yeah, see how the night crawler is more reddish and everything, and the jumping worm is just more is more brown and has a white creamy around it there. So, and this is there, it's more reddish. So. Now you can look these up. Just Google differences between the Asian jumping worm and earthworms, and you'll get plenty of pictures on it. So,
hey, fishes.
Okay. So yeah, there's yeah. All I can say is the best thing for you to do. I can give you a lot of information. I also give you the links down below, and from there you can go others. If you just Google. Dealing with Asian jumping worms. There's a lot of information out there. The University of Ohio, Oregon State University, and there was another one. New York University of Buffalo. I think it was one of the ones that had stuff out there. So there's a lot of information out there that you can look up to take care, to learn about how to deal with it in your area. But yeah, and so please, if you're sending me any seeds and stuff, no dirt, no soil.
We got the seed swap coming up.
Oh,
I think Justin's going to send everybody a whole plant now.
Jay, some idiot politician said, well, why don't we just bring in a whatever species that hunts them in their native thing and put it and use it here? Oh man, you should have heard the there was a little clip on it. I forget, it wasn't on YouTube, but it was one of those when I was looking up. There was a little clip on it, and some professor just called him a stupid idiot right there in front of everybody.
We already have them. We have birds. They hunt worms.
Yes.
We don't need to bring in any more species in.
Yeah, Tibor. Unfortunately, there are some. I'm sorry. I'm going to call them what they are: idiots that are out there selling these as fishing worms
and compost worms
and spreading them around. So, yeah.
And if you have a compost worm, it's going to end up in your garden.
Yeah, and if you buy any sort of compost from someplace and they happen to have those worms, even if they pull all the worms out, the cocoons, the egg sacs, or whatever, are going to be in the compost, and you're going to get some. So you got to watch out for that. And
so you might not want to buy worm castings for a while,
or where you're getting them from.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one that came up big. So this is a off when I Googled it and I went to images, differences between Asian jumping worms and earthworms. This was one of the pictures, and so talks about everything about it, and talks about the different types of them. And so they also have the this was like, it's a take one card, that have people take it out, but talks about the size and all things about them. And this is report sightings to the Oregon Invasive Species Hotline. So this is put out in Oregon. So check with your own states to see if they have anything information about the Asian jumping worms in your state. So I'm going to drop that down. There we go.
Which I'm sure you can just Google.
Yeah, exactly. I went through a lot of information and I froze. Anybody have any other questions or anything else? And I will try to answer it here. You can buy fish worms that are dyed green. I don't know, T-Boy. That's a good idea. You can buy fishing worms that are dyed green. Well, seeing how those are kind of a light brown color, not a dark brown, they might be using those to dye them green because they might be easier to dye, change the lighter color to a green than the darker color to a green. So. Nope, they can't climb up tall posts, so they can't climb up and get to your balcony garden there, Kaylin. They dye them with Jello powder.
Okay, so there's been 95 sightings of the Asian jumping worm in the state of Tennessee. So I just Googled that really quick. And it came up before I could say boo. So.
And Jay fires off another one from the peanut gallery here. Waiting for the glow-in-the-dark fishing worms.
Yeah.
Come from the Fukushima site.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Jay.
Yeah. And that's the one thing I didn't find any of the research, and that might be something to check for. What time of day do these earthworms closer to the surface to be pushing up their castings and stuff?
Yeah, stick your hands in there.
Or is it just at night? And if it's like it's in the pre-dawn hours, it might be set up some work lights, turn the lights on, and turn the chickens loose.
Mm-hmm.
Chickens will see the worms suddenly going like this, and they go. Whoom.
Yep. Although they'd probably take care of your plants too, unfortunately.
Yeah. We could only hope. But then once the army ants win, how do you get rid of the army ants?
Well, I have plenty of army worms in my yard. Maybe they'll take care of them too, and then they'll eat each other. That would be great. I would love that.
Jay, your comical comment made me think of something. How many remember the Matthew Broderick film Godzilla? What he was doing in the beginning of it in the rain. He's putting electrical charge to drive the earthworms up so he could take samples.
Yeah.
That part of the movie was scientific fact. That's they do put a charge in the soil and drive the earthworms up to collect samples.
There we go.
Yeah.
You'd have to do it like every 2 months.
Yeah. And you have to go around different parts of it to, drive them up. But if it's in a nicely turned soil bed, it's probably easier to drive them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a fisherman, it would be.
Mm-hmm. It would be.
Oh, she's got some of those probes to collect worms.
That's awesome.
Where did you get those probes at?
Yeah, we could probably get them on. Let me see if they have them on.
Oh, People says Bass Pro Shop sells them.
Oh.
There's probably that means you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I think we pretty much covered this. Other than that, everyone, how is your garden going? Have you seen any signs of this? The large casting looks like coffee grounds out in your gardens.
No, I have not.
Yeah, all the stuff I've ever seen is a lot smaller.
Yeah. I've had so many pests in the garden, I wouldn't know if they were there on top of everything else. So it's been a year. Woo! It has been a year.
Yeah.
My new arch nemesis is the armyworm.
The armyworm, huh?
The armyworm.
So what does the armyworm do?
Eat everything. He's like a hornworm. They'll eat your tomatoes too. They'll eat everything though. They'll eat everything. A hornworm,
they're like an inchworm then.
Yeah.
Okay, I got pictures.
Not an inchworm. They're So yeah, they are, and they start off as little tiny things, these little, and you can find them actually with one of those night lights, those black lights, because they have this little glowy side, and so and when they're babies, you can pick them up, but boy, are they destructive. So
and what happens if can you pick the big ones up or do they bite?
You can pick them all up. Yep.
All right.
They don't bite.
All right.
Yep. So they have been my arch nemesis. Yeah. There's.
Have you tried spraying?
You can spray DP or soap water or BT.
Yeah.
They work, but I just didn't want to buy another thing because it's the end of my year. So I'm just going to pull. Yeah. Hi, Carol.
Hey.
I'm just going to pull my my sweet potatoes a little early.
Yeah, they're nasty, those things.
Mhm.
They are nasty. That's what hit my tomatoes, and I brought them up actually from Miami. The couple who gave me the rotating composter for free that I drove down there for also
Mhm.
gave me their Better Boy tomato because they were moving, and I took it because it came in a huge terracotta pot.
Mm.
Well, they were ripening, and I had one, looking really nice, and then I noticed on the other side it had a nice one of those inside of it.
Yeah.
Way. So I brought it
Yeah,
in.
they just eat your tomatoes.
Mhm.
Like they make little holes in your tomatoes.
They'll go right in.
Yeah, they go right in and just eat it from the inside out.
Sorry, I'm late. I just got home.
And then, a hornworm looks like he's eating your tomato like an apple. Like a hornworm will come in and just eat it from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
But an armyworm will go inside and eat it from the inside out.
So it can look like really nice on the outside, and then you turn it around and he's on the other side already starting on the inside.
Yeah.
I put it down the garbage disposal.
Yeah.
And I even put it on video.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have a video where Chris killed a hornworm that way. Not in the garbage disposal, but in the air conditioning.
Yeah, I saw that. Twang, 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 twang.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Hey, Tibor. Hey, everybody inside chat. Sorry, I was running around to get a little
suburban hillbilly.
I'm so tired.
Yeah. So, I've been dealing with those, and I mean, they were just. I have an infestation. I have a video coming out soon where it's just, you're like, there's nothing on the side of this because there's nothing left of this leaf, and then you lift it up and they're all babies all on the other side of these little tiny so next year we'll get the BT and I will be spraying.
Yeah
I
want to try the BT myself, but I can't spray it near my butterfly plants, so it has to be
I hear you.
Separate stuff out.
I got some BT I was going to use. I just never got around to it. I was able to kill off all the gnats and stuff because it basically said they use BT for all the gnats and stuff, because they like to populate in the top of the soil. So you just put in a thing, you spray the top of the soil down.
I tell you, I would probably have them a lot worse, but their moths, most of their moths were killed by my electric bug zapper.
Yeah.
But it got so full of moths that it died. My bug zapper died.
Wow.
I was changing it literally every day and it was full. The whole bottom section was full of moths. And I
wonder if somebody has a big garden near yours.
There is huge gardens near me. So, I mean, there's the Amish.
Yeah.
And they're growing soybean and corn.
Where they're spraying. So then they're like, oh, we smell organic. We smell organic.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Organic. Use niece and nephews to kill the worms.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Jay, I don't know if screaming, it was such a tiny scream. I didn't hear it and I didn't care.
Yeah.
It was eating my one tomato that was flushing because I don't get a lot of tomatoes. I'm not the best tomato grower down here. Trying to learn.
Yeah, that's the thing is we won't be having that in our new place.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are growing crops. Actually they are. That's not true. There's so many people that grow for Tyson chicken. They grow their feed. They grow the corn for their feed.
Crap.
Yeah. And that gets sprayed.
Yeah, it does.
So
well, you might have to just invest in netting.
Well, if they're spraying the corn to keep the army worms out of stuff out, because I got a picture of the army worm going through an ear of corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's probably, if they're around the new place out there.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
That will keep the population down.
It might, but it also will send them over to Laura's because she's not spraying anything. It's like they know.
Yeah, I barely, if I do, it's soap water. It's like I'm very anti. I'd rather grow more.
Yeah. Yeah, suburban hillbilly. I had to throw mine out because it was in the garage. Sorry.
Your bug zapper was filling with the trays filling up. Can you run it without the tray on it?
Well, I can't run it anymore because it broke.
It died, but because my cousin, who was an electrical engineer, built a big old huge one for my grandmother because she had horses on the property.
Yeah.
And it was a big old one, but it was open on the bottom. And so the flies, everything, and to be a big old pile on the ground down below it.
I was like, first I got hit with Japanese beetles. Then I got hit with hornworms and a bunch of other like little natty little flies, little things, all kinds of just stuff all the time. Something's eating my loofah. I got little knobs off my loofah, and that's probably a worm of some kind. So, but I do have loofah on the vine. So
I'm
sounds like floral.
I'm going to grab my container of BT. I'll be right back.
Go check it.
He wants to check it.
Yeah, mine had to go in the garbage because I realized I stored it out in the garage.
Well, I tried some powder that said it was organic, and it said it wasn't going to do anything, that it was fine, that it would kill hornworms. They didn't touch it. It didn't do anything to them.
And BT takes a while because it's a bacteria.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the little, what do you call it?
Okay.
The larval stage of the, I can't think of what it's called, that you see on the backs of the hornworms.
Yeah.
That takes a while too. But once you have them, they at least help with the fight. Oh, shalom.
All right, this is what I have.
That's what I had.
I don't know if I can get it to focus on it here, right?
Is it OMRI though?
No, it doesn't say OMR. I don't see OMRI on it here, but it may have that inside the paperwork on the back that peels open.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a good brand.
Yeah. And I guess this Fireside is a subsidiary of Bonide, Bonide.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that is. It says up there.
Sorry, I'm eating strawberries.
Yeah, it's a subsidiary of that. This is the concentrate, so can be used in hose end or pressure sprayers. So, hey, Jewish Redneck Prepper, how's it going?
Nice, Jay. I like that idea. You can do it in like a shoebox, maybe. A little shoebox, tiny bar. There you go. With poles for the jumping worms to dance on. And the worms will come in there and drink.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any jumping worms, but I just I had to look it up and to see if it was in my state. There's 95 people that claim they've seen them. So
what is it that's so bad about them? I missed because I was at the store.
All right. They one of the things they do is like in a forest area, they'll go through and they can remove 95% of the ground cover leaf litter stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just eat it all up. They go 4 to 6 inches deep and they devour all the bioorganic material in that area. They just devastate it. And they turn it up and make their poop is like big coffee grounds all over the place. And they aerate the top so bad that it dries out in hot temperatures.
Crap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's got a white stripe on it. Like it's got like a little white belt.
Yeah.
To hold in all its fatty stuff it's devouring.
Yeah.
Hold its pants up. Ugh. One pick and destroy them by bagging them and throwing them in the trash. Oh, great. It sounds just like the freaking toads we have.
Yeah. But,
I'm looking to see. I don't see. Florida, University of Florida is warning back in 2020 about them.
Yeah, they made a big transfer. They showed up big in 2020. There were a lot of articles came out about them being in new places in 2020.
Yeah.
And this year they hit California.
Wonder if somebody like shot them over here.
There's probably a lot more people doing more fishing and gardening and stuff. So the composters and stuff that were using the worms for the compost, they got spread a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people are selling them as compost worms
and fishing worms.
and fishing worms.
Oh yeah, it's here too. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the map where it's present on the University of Florida in 2020.
Yeah. So guys, just that fast. Carol found out where they are in Florida. Check your own state, see where they are. They may not be in every county, so you may have a chance to defend your area.
Yeah, it takes seconds to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't think like when you're going on, like say we have OfferUp, I think it's pretty much everywhere. And Craigslist, like you're gonna buy potted plants for cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about that stuff right away. Like that you might be bringing eggs into your garden area.
Well, look what Q put out there. That could very well could have been it.
I clicked on the wrong thing and now I can't find you.
Basically, it's saying all those mystery seed packets that came from China.
Yeah. Right.
All they need to do is put some seeds in there and sprinkle a couple of the cocoons in there. They can blend right in and
My husband's like, you're not growing any of those. When they came to my house.
That's right. He knew.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. Yeah.
Good job, honey.
Trying to find
the jumping worms to catch the snakeheads. Get rid of both.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Amazon delivery. Funny. Suburban.
You may not be that so far off.
Yeah.
Might not be. Because people were getting things from China like that. Oops, sorry. That they didn't realize were from China. Like somebody had ordered from a regular, I guess, distributor that they used for a while.
Yeah.
In fact, it was a big channel. It was the one.
I didn't even order them, and they came.
Yeah, no, some people just got hit, but this woman said she ordered from her regular distributor where she gets good deals, and this time they came and they were all packed in Chinese packaging, and all the seeds they sent her for that instead. And she was like, I'm done, not ordering from them anymore.
Yeah.
Did she return them?
I don't know if she destroyed them or returned them. I think she might have returned them. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
In our area,
the New Orleans gardener,
they said send them to or bring them to your post office.
Cute strawberries.
Because the post office was investigating the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know my wife got a package there, one package or two packages in California. My son borrowed my favorite tool, the torch. Took it out on the cement patio and just with the
I'm eating dried fruit.
The benzomatic torch and just burn them all up.
I can't eat. You have to be careful of dried fruit because of sulfur. I can't eat it because of that. Some of it, if it completely is like totally sulfur free, I can.
That is one of the Michelle. That is one of the rumors going around.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're past the hour, and Courtney's going live in an hour from 55 minutes from now. Half hour?
For us.
Half hour?
For us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If you're in the weight loss.
Yeah, weight loss. So we got 25 minutes for us.
Yeah.
So weight loss people. Courtney's doing a live for us, and then at 10 o'clock Eastern, she's doing the regular Media Monday with Blue from the Lou.
Yay! Blue from the Lou is back.
All right. So
don't eat during Blue from the Lou. Do not eat during that segment, especially anything brown. Just warning.
Don't bug me.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're a nurse or have medical background.
Yeah.
It will not bother you.
All right, folks. We're going to wrap it up here. So we got Courtney's diet challenge coming up in 24 minutes.
Yep.
For those that are members of it. Then the Media Monday after that. Tomorrow on Grayman Prepping. The topic is, what is the progression of your prepper pantry? And we're talking about ways to work it and around and stuff and the things you can do, ideas. We're going to trade information from side chat up here and here and vice versa. So that's what's up tomorrow night. And then Laura's on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
What time Eastern?
She's on twice, right?
Yeah.
Daytime,
Wednesday
nighttime.
at 1. I need to get those out. And Wednesday at
11
Eastern.
All right. All righty. So see you all. If you're on the weight loss, we'll see you in 23 minutes over on Courtney's for the weight loss. And if not, we'll see you in 53 minutes.
Okay.
Or 57 minutes, whatever, 53 minutes for the Media Monday. All right.
Whee!